On today's Hot Sheet, I'm discussing the hidden reason smaller homes aren't more common, condo versus single family home prices, and mortgage applications for the week. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. I am Byron Lazine, and the Hot Sheet starts now. Welcome back. Middle of the week already here. Hot Sheet. It feels like we're just rolling through already, and the week will be over obviously before we know it. But let's get into what we've got today. This is the only 24-hour look back on housing on the internet, live every Monday through Thursday when the markets are open. Markets, of course, were closed on Monday, but they are open today. Got a couple reports. One from National Association of Home Builders. This is on the scale of single-family home construction, the economies of scale.
And we're back.
And I don't know if they can hear me or not, but that is proof right there that the Hot Sheet is a live show. I can no longer hear myself, so if they can hear me,
Hold on.
let us know in the chat.
What the hell was that?
If you can hear it, we just had an explode. That felt like an explosion.
The breaker tripped on the surge protector. Hold on.
If I could see the chat, which I can't see right now, I'd love to see if I.
Hold on.
We can.
You guys can hear me. Yes, you guys can hear me. Hold on.
I can hear it myself. All right. This is officially a live show. Okay, so there you go. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. We've been doing the Hot Sheet a couple of years now, but it was just like a black, I don't know, almost like a surge, I guess you would put it. Okay, let's get right back into it here from the top. National Association of Home Builders as a report on the economies of scale. This is this report, home builders on they're finding that big homes have an economic advantage over small homes. Well, if you watch TikTok, you wouldn't buy into that theory. You got a whole bunch of young people pushing this idea that tiny homes and even van living is the way to go. There's been this theory for the last 10 plus years that small homes, tiny homes are going to be the wave of the future, that people are going to want tiny homes. Well, that's discounting the fact that most people appreciate a family environment. They want people living with them. They don't want to just live by themselves. And really, a tiny home is only practical for one person living. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. And there's going to be, and that is an increasing number for sure, but it's not increasing to the point where tiny homes are going to be all that you see or going to be the most built homes either. Lance Lambert over at Resi Club pulled some data on this. Number one, median new home price per square foot grouped by size. I can't. There you go. Thank you. NAHB says the cost per square foot of single family home declines systematically as the home becomes larger. Okay. So cost per square foot declines the bigger the home. So that would be a case for building homes that are on the smaller side. I would say if you're getting price per square foot, 1,200 square foot at 200, 5,000 or more, you're only getting 132. And it continues to decline in between there. 12 to 1,600 is 177. And as you see the chart in front of you, if you're watching on YouTube, those numbers decline steadily the larger the home is. So that's one interesting data point. Okay. The cost per square foot of a new single family home declines systematically as the home becomes larger. In microeconomics, unit costs that decline as a business operation increases in size are called economies of scale. This is from the NAHB. They calculated that the median new home price per square foot by home size after subtracting the improved lot price. The big picture here is building larger homes spreads the fixed costs over a bigger area. Okay. This benefits home buyers getting more for the money. It also benefits builders. Okay. They can achieve a better margin when they do this. So they're not sharing all the benefits from the economy of scale with the buyers. They're benefiting from those from those benefits, and they're benefiting in total profit. Okay. If you're putting a better margin, bigger margin on a bigger sale price overall, because it's just a bigger house, you're gonna drive more profit. So builders are not that incentivized to go ahead and build smaller homes. Okay. Look at remember, this one here is cost per square foot, the cost to actually get a 1,200 square foot home. Okay. So you would think cost is going to equal value, but no, that's actually not the case when we go ahead and look deeper, right? That makes sense. Okay. Here's the other variable. You don't get that much of a, if you have a tiny home or smaller home or less than 1,200 square feet, you're not like really getting a huge insurance benefit. So insurance cost is still high. Home insurance, as California and Florida home buyers, certainly concerned. But here's breaking down by each region. Okay, Northwest, Northeast are not concerned. The Midwest and the South are less concerned. Southwest coming in at 67% on the not concerned. Nationally, we're 62% not concerned, 27% somewhat concerned, and then 10% very concerned. Southern California and Florida and Northern California being at the highest level of concern. Northern California, 17% concern on home insurance. Florida, 18%. And then Southern California at 69%. Okay. So the insurance is factoring in obviously as well. Okay. If my insurance isn't going to be that much more for another 1,000 square feet, and I'm getting a lower price per square foot as a buyer, and I like having the space, it's going to push more people towards that bigger home, and it's going to push more builders towards the bigger home as well. Okay, and think about this: the insurance companies are looking at, well, gee, it costs $200 per foot to go ahead and build a 1,200 square foot house, or 150 a square foot to build 2,500 square feet. And they're going to make a little bit more money off that 2,500. But if they had to repair it, their cost per foot is going to be a lot less than on those smaller homes. Remember, it's very costly to build, and a home builder will tell you, if you want a one level living, everyone's one level living ranch, certainly in the Northeast or places with basements, you want one level ranch. That's going to cost more than a 2-story, say colonial or something like that. Okay. A 2-story home, same square feet. You got a smaller foundation footprint. When you're dealing with basements, that's going to be, a home that's less expensive for the builder to build. That's why those one level brand new ranches are selling at a premium. Okay. Here's another chart here directly from NAHB. And this breaks it down by category of home, and your economy home, your average home, your custom home, your luxury home. Cost per square foot by size of home, and then they got it in each category. So if you go luxury 1,200 square feet, you're up in the 300 per foot category. If you go luxury at 2,000 square feet, you're only between 225 and 250 costs per square foot. A custom home, same. Highest category is the 1,200 square foot. Same with average. Same with the economy home, and it steps down in each category based on each size. As the size goes up in each of these categories: economy, average, custom, and luxury. Smaller homes, you're not going to see a wave of them based on how expensive it is to buy. Then you're going to have things that happen in your micro market, like what Beth is saying here. Builders build between 1250 and 1550 because that's what sells in the market that she's in, right? And so it really depends, obviously, on the market as well. Let's take a look. Speaking of Florida and some of those insurance costs that we identified there earlier, Florida's condo market right now is phasing through a price correction. We've been talking about Florida, particularly on the hot sheet, for quite some time. When you look at their condo prices, they are falling in 18 of Florida's 25 largest metro areas. And you've got a couple things going on. You've got the post Surfside structural safety mandates that are happening for all waterfront condos across Florida. You have rising insurance costs, and then you have an inventory surge happening at the same time in Florida. So as inventory is shooting up, as you're dealing, some of these HOAs are dealing with the restriction, with the requirements, the safety, structural safety mandates that are attached, particularly to shoreline condo buildings in Florida. You couple all these things, you're seeing prices now become favorable for buyers. And this is in Florida, obviously, in particular. There are other parts of the country where you might see inventory rise, but you're not seeing as big of a shift as you're seeing. Here's the year-over-year home price shift across Florida, condo versus single-family homes, to highlight this. Okay, year-over-year condo, and you can see the red line just moving to the left on this graph here. Just all areas moving to the left. You get on the other side there, the left side of this chart, everything's in the negatives. So you've got Palatka, Florida, and Tallahassee, Sebring, Miami, Gainesville, Arcadia is flat, Clewiston is flat. Those are the only ones with a positive number. Once you get to the Orlandos, Ocala, Lakeland, there's about 20 other towns: Tampa, Naples, Panama City, Cape Coral, Northport, Villages, Punta Gorda, all in the negatives for year-over-year home price shift on condos. Single families, you only have a few. You have a handful that are in the negatives. You have Cape Coral, you have Northport, you have Villages, Punta Gorda, Panama City. You've got a handful in comparison to almost 20 locations in Florida on condos that are in the negatives. Okay, it's because of those other local dynamics, the structural safety mandates. Obviously, insurance is impacting single family just like the condos, but inventory, because of that mandate, is increasing more rapidly on condos than single families. And you have inventory going up on single families as well. I think Florida is an important market for whether you're in Florida or not, for everybody to understand. Okay, because a lot of people are moving to Florida over the last 4 or 5 years. They still have long-term plans to migrate into Florida. Are you able to educate them on what's going on? Is now the time to pull the trigger to be a buyer in Florida? Do you have connections there? These are all things, as a real estate professional, I'd be thinking about. Here are the areas where condos are up the most. Among the 300 largest markets, condo values are up the most in Torrington, Hartford, Connecticut, Atlantic City, Norwich, Connecticut, and New Haven, Connecticut. So Connecticut on 4 of the top 5 there, on the 3 out of 300 largest markets where condo values are up the most. Why is that? Why is Connecticut and Jersey, they're dominating the top 5? Well, they've got the lowest level of inventory. And so when buyers don't have any inventory, they tend to move over to the condo market. Or if that single family home has gotten so overpriced, they tend to move over into the condo market to look for other opportunities. Here's the areas where condo values are down the most. Okay, so just pulling away from Florida, going big picture, you've got Lafayette, Louisiana at 1, Clarksville, Tennessee, New Orleans, Punta Gorda at negative 7.4%, and then Austin at negative 6.2%. There were several condo Florida markets outside of the top 5, and we mentioned some of those. Here is the metro level change between July 23 and July 24 on condos. You can see it's really the Southeast, it's Texas, it's Louisiana, it's that Gulf Coast where condos are down the most, while the Northeast is still up considerably, as well as most of the Midwest and most of Southern California, all up on condo prices. Here are the among the 300 largest markets, single-family home values, just to compare single-family versus those condo markets that we just looked at. San Jose, Rockford, Syracuse, Hartford, and San Diego in your top 5 for up. For down, you've got New Orleans, Lake Charles, Punta Gorda, Austin, and Alexandria, Louisiana. So there you go on that condo look. Here is another interesting look. And again, charts will be available for you inside of BAMX, so BAMX members can grab those, as well as today's hot sheet show notes, where you can take all of that data and use it in your conversations in your database. Charts, all of that get uploaded each and every single day. Use code HOT to jump into BAMX today. Year-over-year home price shift. This is now condo versus single family. This is a good exercise for a buyer to take a look at on what's happening if they're in between condo and single family. And you can see here that the condo, continues to be moving on the left here. Condo down, single family housing down. That's like the least metros are in that category at the bottom left. Condos up and single family homes up. So both categories being up, top right. You've got the most metros where both are up. And then where you still have single families up, but condos down, that's that bottom right quadrant. And you have more of that, okay? Where you have condos up and single families down, nobody is in that category. Where condos are up on price, but yet single family housing is down on price. So condos taking a hit on price. We know we're going to see deceleration on home price growth over the next 6 months. Early signs are year over year, condos are taking that hit first. Okay, that purple bottom right quadrant is the one that really showcases that being true today. And I think that's important for people who are doing a comparison there to take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at mortgage application data. Mortgage Banker Association just came out with it here this morning. Mortgage refinance demand is up 94% higher than a year ago. Okay. Obviously, we've seen interest rates stabilize. We've been below 6.5 here for some time, and 94% higher than a year ago seems like a really eye-opening number on mortgage refinance. Obviously, we were coming off of basically not very many last year, but it is, to me, it is considerably interesting to note that it's up that much, that we're accelerating that fast on refinances. I know we're coming down from nothing, but you saw reports yesterday. I mean, stock market was down yesterday. More reports yesterday that we're entering a slowing economy. And there are people that are either pulling money out or refinancing for a better rate, maybe that we're at 7.5 or 8. And just something to keep an eye on. I'm not, I'm not concerned about it, but it is something that is interesting enough to keep an eye on. Mortgage demand is right now very skewed towards the refinance. So when you look at the top line number, application volume rose 1.6% last week. That includes those refinances, right? If we look further here, applications to refinance a home actually fell 0.3% for the week, but they were up that 94% for a year ago. Interesting. So what did purchase applications come in at? Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home rose 3%, but are still 4% for the same week a year ago, down. So 4% lower for the same week, but up 3% week over week. I like the 3% metric week over week. We're getting to a time, we saw yesterday, inventory's down. We're getting to a time seasonality where people tend to cool off of the market, yet we're up. So rates are down and we're up on mortgage application. What's more interesting to me is that this week versus last week, same year, only a 4% difference. That's one of the lowest, that's one of the smallest gaps that we've seen. We've become accustomed to 10, 12, 14% difference year over year on demand to now be at a spread of 4%. That to me is encouraging to say, I know last year and this year we're talking about bottom of the barrel demand, but to get to the other side where we're beating year over year numbers, we got to actually get close. We got to stay away from double digits. So at least 4% is something heading in the right direction. The 10-year today still just hanging around 3.8. It's kind of where we've been. And then 30-year fix coming in yesterday at 6.4. No reading, obviously, on Monday. The weekly last week came in at 6.3. 5, probably not much movement there shaking out here today as we look forward on today's reading on the 30-year fixed. Stock market after yesterday's sell-off looks like coming in flat here to start the day. Again, yesterday's sell-off was really more in line with some fears popping up again about a slowing economy. I think we're kind of in one of those phases right now where every day's data is very important as we line up 14 days away from the next Fed meeting. This number has changed since yesterday, now at 59% of a quarter point, so 41% on the half a point. That half a point number is up on how much they're going to cut at the next meeting. That's up from yesterday. So we'll see where that goes here today as we move forward. Love for you to move forward with joining us in Las Vegas at BAM Mania, October 17th and 18th. 17th for VIP experience. 18th is general admission. VIP tickets will sell first. BAMX members, you get 25% off of your BAM Mania ticket. Check out all the speakers, the lineup, everything that's happening on bammania.com and secure your ticket today. Hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Until then, toodaloo.